Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing Trim Healthy Mama, and that's just kind of what people are asking me about right now. That is what I'm doing, and I'm going to be addressing the specific concern that so many of you have. Help, I want to do Trim Healthy Mama, but I'm so overwhelmed. I know. It can totally be incredibly overwhelming. So that's why I want to share with you just the things that I'm learning, the things that I'm unlearning, the things that I've made mistakes in trying, and all the stuff. So hopefully this channel will help you out in your life to be healthy from the inside out in general. So I do not just do Trim Healthy Mama here on this channel. If you guys are new here, I'm Kathryn. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If this is the first time you're ever catching any of my content, I just want to say we're so glad to have you as part of the Healthy from the Inside Out family. But I am actually a certified mental health coach, and I do help women to overcome the mental hurdles that they have as they're going through their weight loss journey as well. Because so many times we can get caught up in these diet cycles. We lose, we gain, all this stuff, right? Like, I know I definitely was there. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I finally discovered the correlation between what goes on in my mind and what goes in my mouth. I don't know, just there was something there, and I couldn't figure it out until a couple of years ago. And once I did, God really started helping me to pull out a lot of the roots, the lies, the things that I believed about myself, and showed me why I was going back to the same old thing over and over again and living in the same vicious cycle, and I was really just tired of it. So once I discovered how to do it for myself, I was determined I was going to definitely reach out and help as many women as I could along their journey. So if you guys are interested in a coach, need a coach, want somebody to walk you through the process and help you to overcome mental hurdles, at the same time, I'm your girl. Like, just reach out. That's what I'm here for. You guys can find me online, and I'll put a link to my website in the description below. But for right now, I'm going to just go through some basics. I'm going to talk about what Trim Healthy Mama is, what Trim Healthy Mama is not, some things that I love, some things that I'm learning. And then hopefully by the time you walk away from this video today, you're going to feel like, okay, I kind of got it, and you'll have been armed with some resources to figure it all out. Okay, so the first thing that I would highly recommend you do is get involved in a Trim Healthy Mama group on Facebook. That has been really helpful to me, and my friend who introduced me to Trim Healthy Mama has been kind of just plugging me into all the resources. She has been a huge help. So thank you, Kelly. If you're watching this right now, you're thebomb.com, and I love you so much. So if you guys don't have somebody to do this with you, it's just like walking hand in hand with thousands of other women who are doing it at the same time, who are trying to figure out all the things. So you'll find people who are brand new all the way to people who are like veteran Trim Healthy Mamas who've been doing this for a really long time. So definitely reach out and talk to them. And any of the things that I have ever done in the past like couple of years that I've been out here on the internet sharing what I've been doing is just for me to have stepping stones from one place to the next, so that I could figure out what was actually going to work for me long term, what I liked, so that I would continue to do that thing. So sometimes I think we can get caught up in this shame game when we try one thing and maybe it doesn't work, and then we try something else and maybe it doesn't work, and then we try something else and maybe it does work, but we're so ashamed to tell the people that we're doing the third thing because the first two things didn't work out, and we don't want to be like, yeah, she's doing another diet, right? Like, I get it. Believe me, I've had people reach out to me on this channel and actually tell me I need to go see a psychiatrist because I go from diet to diet to diet. But you know what? Just take those kind of things with like a grain of salt and like just throw them out. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay actually. I know that I'm okay only because I'm recognizing the things that I do need to work on the inside of me, and it's not that I have a mental problem or something that I need medication or, you know, like a psychiatrist for. Personally, like, that's not my issue, thank God. My issue is just going back and dealing with the wounds that have been left unattended to from, you know, like the past, the pain of the past and things that have happened. So going back and dealing with those things is so important, and I'm doing those things. But in the process of learning to eat healthy, I've had new discoveries about why I do what I do, and allowing myself the space and the grace to try new things, to find what works for me. And just going back to the beginning of this whole adventure here, I started with Nutrisystem. And Nutrisystem has and still will be the #1 thing that I love. I'm glad I did, but it was a seasonal thing. And I knew that the moment that I started it, it was not for long-term you know, sustainability. It was just going to be for me to get the food part out of the way so that I wasn't worrying about how to cook, what to do, count the calories, count the macros, do la 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 la. I could just focus on my mind, myself, what I needed to deal with in the moment, what I was discovering about my cravings and why those things came. And so I gave myself the space for 3 months to actually forget about the food, but find something that was going to be healthy enough and sustainable enough in the meantime that I was not going to be starving, and I could really focus on me. And I learned so much about myself, and then I've been able to help other women through their own mental hurdles and their behavior patterns and things that we struggle with, going back to the why of it all. And so I'm very grateful that I did that. I was able to lose 22 pounds on that program, and it wasn't as much as I was hoping I would have lost, but it was a lot, and I'm still thankful for that. And I want to take a minute to encourage you to give yourself like credit for the things that you've done. If you're working on something, if you're working towards a goal and you haven't hit the end yet, like, don't beat yourself up in the process. Don't forget all that you have done and only focus on what is left undone. I could look at my situation and say, okay, you still have X amount of weight to lose, you still haven't done it, or you've gained this and you've lost that. What's wrong with you? And start beating myself up. That's like not good for anybody's self-esteem. That's not good for actually achieving the goal. Nobody wants to do anything good for themselves when they feel like crap and they're beating themselves up, and you just get to the point where you're like defeated, okay? So instead of doing all that, I've just realized I need to look back at the 60 pounds of weight loss that I have attained and like, wow, that's a lot of weight to have lost. And who's got the white checkered flag out for me to get to the end of? Like, nobody's holding that white checkered flag. Nobody is out there saying like, you have to be here by this date and be this weight. Like, nobody. So I just want you to take a step back if you're on your weight loss journey. If you've been on it a while and you're like, I'm tired of doing this, I have dieted my whole life, and you're like 50, or whether this is like your first rodeo and you're just now like, hey, I just had a baby and I want to lose a little bit of weight and I kind of need to figure out how to do it. My best advice to you is to just be patient in the process and really focus on what's going on the inside of you as you're going through your weight loss journey, because I even hate to use the term weight loss, because when we say weight loss, we are actually telling ourselves we're going to be losing a part of us. And so that's hard. And we won't get into all that right now. That's some deep stuff that I teach in coaching and all of that. But don't beat yourself up. Give yourself grace and space to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And nobody's holding the checker flag for you at the end saying you have to be here by this date, except for you. And then even in that, I would say like, give yourself a little bit of grace to live your life as well. Like, learn to just enjoy the process, enjoy doing all the things that it takes to get healthy, because hurrying up and trying to rush to get to the end and leaves you missing all of the stuff in the middle that you could have learned from. And if you don't learn it once, I have learned that you're gonna get to go around the mountain and learn it again. So if you really wanna be done with the lesson in life or whatever it is that you're dealing with, learn from it the first time so you don't have to keep going around the mountain, okay? So let's talk about Trim Healthy Mama and all the things. So first of all, if you have been reaching out to me saying, Kathryn, I'm super overwhelmed by the idea of doing Trim Healthy Mama, I don't even know where to start. I've been trying to do this thing for a year and I can't figure it out. I get this a lot. I want to start Trim Healthy Mama, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, girl, so was I. When I first started reading that book, I was like, oh my goodness. It took me like 2 months to read the book and then really figure it out and then decide to even like be brave enough to try it. And then when I did, I lost 9 pounds in a week. So you guys can go back and watch that video. I'll put it at the end of this one if you haven't seen it. But congratulations to you for even saying like, hey, I want to figure this out. So the reason why Trim Healthy Mama is overwhelming is because of the impending lifestyle change. Like, you're getting ready to change something in your life. Your lifestyle is changing, and that is scary. Change breeds uncertainty, and we know that. Like, change is like everyone's least favorite thing to do, but the only thing you can rely on, really truly rely on, is that there will always be change. So rely on the fact that change is constant. So change is something that's always going to be happening around us or to us or within us, okay? Whether it's for the good or bad. Well, because we don't like change, we really like comfort, and instability in our routine tends to like freak us out and overwhelm us. Use that word because that's what a lot of you are using when you're talking with me about this. So the problem is that we can get way too comfortable though in our unhealthy lifestyles, in our unhealthy eating habits, and in our unhealthy thinking patterns, okay? So that's the problem. And then when we get too comfortable there, we notice like our pants are a little too tight, we're a lot more grumpy than we used to be, we're tired all the time, all the things, right? Like nobody wants to deal with that. But if we want to change something in our life, we have to change something in our life, and that's something that I wrote about in my book. That's something that I will advocate for forever. Like if you want to see change, you're gonna have to actually change something. And I know that's scary. I totally know that's scary. When you really want to change something in your life, the very first place that we tend to look at is the external. What can I change on the external? But unfortunately, the answer is usually we have to start changing our mind. So we have to start changing what we think about, our self-talk. And those are things that I talk about in coaching women all the time, because we just think if we can hurry up and lose like a quick 10 pounds, right? Then we'll be happy. We can just change the external and everything else around us will change, but we're still the same person on the inside. And we need to be able to rework and rewire so that we can keep and sustain a healthy lifestyle. So we just can't keep doing the same things over and over in life, expecting to get different results. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. I've tried it. Believe me. Take it from me. I mean, if you want to keep doing it, that's totally fine. But take it from me, it doesn't work. So will you have to give up some things on Trim Healthy Mama? Yeah. But you're going to gain a whole lot more in return, I promise you. It has definitely been an adventure so far for me, and a short-lived one. Like, I'm still trying to figure this thing out. I want you guys to know I'm talking from a place of figuring it out, okay? So let's look at the physical benefits, though, of Trim Healthy Mama first, because that's what we all want to know. Like, we want to get, you know, hot by tomorrow, right? No. But the physical benefits of Trim Healthy Mama are these. You're going to get stabilized blood sugar, clearer skin, the ability to feel satisfied like hours after you actually eat a meal, more energy, increased mental clarity. I definitely love that part of it because of all the healthy fats that we get to eat. It really helps with my mental clarity, which is helpful while I'm trying to juggle all the things that I juggle. And I absolutely love the way that I feel. You're gonna get a trimmer waistline. So yeah, you are gonna lose some weight, which is really awesome, and decreased inflammation. And decreased inflammation for me was huge. Like, I can tell when I'm eating all the junk, like the processed foods or whatever, my face will get like super puffy right up in here and underneath my eyes. And I have like natural puffy eyes anyway, like it's just a hereditary thing. No amount of cream I have ever used has helped it, or like ice cubes or cold spoons or cold creams or cold masks or face rollers or, oh my gosh, y'all, I've tried it all, okay? None of it works. I just have like a puffiness. But it's way worse when I eat a lot of like processed foods. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and you're really serious about losing weight, I'm gonna just quick run through the basics. If you want to get the Trim Healthy Mama plan, I will put a link in the description below for you guys to go grab that. But one of the things that I really love about Trim Healthy Mama is its sustainability for a healthy lifestyle based on biblical principles that are backed by science. Love it. Love all of that. So here's what Trim Healthy Mama is not, okay? Trim Healthy Mama is not a quick weight loss plan. There's no calorie counting. There's no points to keep up with, or like net grams and all the stuff, like none of that. Like, you don't have to keep up with micros and macros and all that, okay? None of that. No counting at all. It's not expensive. It doesn't require any special ingredients unless you absolutely just want to have some. Like, Trim Healthy Mama has their own line, but all of the things that you need for Trim Healthy Mama you can buy at your local grocery store. And it's not just for moms, okay? Like, dudes, you can do this too. Not moms, you can do this too. Like, anybody can. They just call it Trim Healthy Mamas. I don't know, but that's just what they chose. So here's how it works. You do get to eat fat, you do get to eat carbs, and you will get healthy. You're gonna learn principles that are gonna equip you to heal your body from the inside out for the rest of your life. So here's Trim Healthy Mama in a nutshell. All right, so you're gonna choose good fats and good carbs each meal. So you're either gonna choose good fats or good carbs for each meal, with protein being the center of your meal. And then you're gonna choose either the good fats to make it an S meal or good carbs to make it an E meal. That's really the basic, like, gist of it all, okay? But then if you put them both together and you have like a healthy fat and a healthy carb in one meal, those are called crossovers. And crossover meals are not really good for weight loss, but they are healthy and they're good for kids, and you can serve your family like crossover meals all day long, as long as you know that you are eating like only the S or only the E if you're looking for weight loss. And you definitely want to incorporate fuel pools, which is something that I'm struggling to do right now. I'm trying to learn to incorporate more fuel pools. Fuel pools are just like leaner protein sources that don't have enough of healthy fat or enough healthy carbs to make it an S or an E. So fuel pool options are like numerous. If you guys grab any of the Trim Healthy Mama cookbooks or the Trim Healthy Mama plan, that'll talk to you all about those and like what a fuel pool can be for you. One of my favorite fuel pools is the baby frap, and I'm just learning how to like incorporate other fuel pools currently because I'm going to start doing what's called fuel cycling, and I can't really talk a lot about that yet because it's still brand new. But fuel cycling is something that they don't recommend you do as like the basis of the program, but it's something that you can do if your weight loss has stalled or if you just want to kickstart your weight loss but only do it like once and then don't do it again for another 2 months or something like that. So they don't want you to like abuse the fuel cycle. So I'm not really going to talk a lot about that right now. But you definitely need to have a source of protein in your meal that fits your fuel type. So if your meal type is an S, you can have like dairy as a protein source if that's what you want to do, like for breakfast. But if your meal is an E, your protein probably needs to be something like, you know, meat. So it's lean meat, right? So not a lot of fats. On the Trim Healthy Mama plan, you're going to steer clear from sugar. Sugar is not your friend, period. Whether you are trying to lose weight or you're not trying to lose weight, sugar is just not your friend. So there's lots of healthy alternative sources that you can use, you know, to help you through this, like stevia, or like Trim Healthy Mama has their own type of sweeteners that you can use, which I absolutely love, but you either love them or you don't. You can use monk fruit, and there's so many other really good sweeteners out there, and they teach you all about that in the Trim Healthy Mama plan as well. But my favorite sweetener is the super sweet. My friend Kelly's not such a big fan of it. She likes the gentle sweet. So you can enjoy carbs, we've talked about this, but you just have to enjoy the carbs that are not like refined carbs. Okay, the other issue that I have a lot is this one, waiting 3 hours between my meals. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I can't. It's either I'm super starving within an hour and a half of eating if I have meals, and then I'm like, I'm so ready to eat, or I forget when I ate and then, oh yeah, did I eat then? Is it been 3 hours? Or it's been 6 hours, oops, I haven't eaten and I'm starving. I'm still trying to work out this whole thing. Like, I got in the best habit of eating every 2 to 3 hours for a long time, and I got out of the habit, and it's easy to do. You can make and break habits real quick, like it just happens. So I got out of the habit of eating every 2 to 3 hours and having to like remind myself. So setting timers on my phone has been really helpful for that. But do however you need to. Eat every 3 hours, because that gives your body time to process the fuel that you gave it before, so that if you had an S meal for lunch, you're not going to have an S meal or an E meal for dinner 2 hours later, because then that's crossing over and your like body's burning both those fuels at the same time, and it's going to store some of it as fat, and you don't want that. And something else I'm not so great at, but I wrote down to make sure that I remember to tell you guys this, is to alternate your fuel sources. When I read this recently, it hasn't been that long ago that I realized I have not been doing this. I have not been like alternating S and E's very well, and I've not been eating S's properly. I'm learning. That's why I'm here, okay? So the Trim Healthy Mama plan actually recommends that you eat at least 7 meals in a week. That means like eat an E meal every day of the week. At least pick one meal that is going to be an E. And that's really hard for some of us who are coming out of keto world, right? Like we're like, carbs are bad, all carbs are bad. No. Not all carbs are bad. And when I was on keto, I actually gained a lot of weight on keto, probably like 12 pounds. And it was because I was doing what I started doing here at Trim Healthy Mama in the Trim Healthy Mama plan, was eating all of the super high calorie fats too much too often. I started doing that with Trim Healthy Mama too, until I realized, oh, there's different S meals. There's like a deep S, a heavy S, and a light S. And I was eating a lot of heavy S meals, and I need to stick more towards deep S meals or light S meals until I hit kind of like my weight loss goal. And if you guys want to know more about all that, just go check out the video that I just did for you guys recently explaining all the 3 S meals. So I hope that this has cleared up a little bit of like how to get started with Trim Healthy Mama. You just got to look at your fuel source and make sure that you're pairing it with whatever protein that is appropriate for your fuel source. And don't get overwhelmed with it. Really, there's tons of information out there. You can get the cookbook, has been the easiest thing for me because then I know I'm not like doing anything wrong. And in the plan at the very back of the book, they have it like menus even written out for you to follow and try and figure out, okay, if I'm gonna do this for a week, I wanna kind of see how it's like set up. What does it look like to have it, you know, each meal be in one's an S, one's an E, whatever. And how do I do a fuel pool? They'll even have a list of like fuel pool options for you to have for snacks and things that you wouldn't normally like think you can have because you're so used to dieting. It's a little bit of a change. Like you have to really get into the fact that you can have so many more things than chicken, broccoli, and brown rice. It's just wonderful. So that's where the food freedom part comes in. But some of my favorite things so far that I really truly enjoy on the Trim Healthy Mama plan is the shrinker. I did a video for you guys showing you the shrinker. I drink that thing like legit every single day. The baby frap is something that you can drink as a fuel pool. You can have it like after one of your meals if you're still hungry. And sometimes I have it even if I'm not like ravenously hungry, but I feel like I might still want to go to the cabinet and find something else to eat. I don't ignore that feeling. I say, okay, my body's telling me maybe I still need to put some more fuel in there, so I'll do a baby frap. That's one of my favorite things to do. I love the big boy shakes, like the bomb. I love them. They're so delicious. I love the cheeseburger pie. That's like a really heavy S meal though, so I can't have that like every week like I was. So that's sad, but I can have it. I just probably shouldn't because I know I'm gonna eat way too much of it and I'm not gonna eat as much salad with it as I should. So that's my favorite S meal. And then my favorite E meal so far has been the white bean chicken chili. That is the quickest crock pot delicious E meal that I have found so far. Just throwing it all in the crock pot in the morning, running around about my day, and literally like come home and just put it in bowls and go. And then for the kids, I like put blue corn tortilla chips and a little bit of cheese on theirs. That makes it a crossover. My daughter even loves to put like sour cream on hers. I just eat it straight as it is. My husband will eat it straight as it is, and it's filling and it's really delicious. So anyways, that is all I have to say today about Trim Healthy Mama, and I hope that I've answered the majority of your questions that have come in so far. If you have more questions about Trim Healthy Mama or any of the other things that you see here on my channel, always feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, or you guys can reach out to me just straight like this, like however it's easy for you to do. You can also find more information about me, what I do, what I'm all about, why I love to serve, and why I believe that it's important that I do, all on my website, which I'll put in the link in the description below. And if you guys have found this video helpful and you enjoyed it, please don't forget to click that like button. And while you're down there, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that too. It's free, you got nothing to lose, and I will see you guys here next time.